Hi everyone, Hannah here, just getting on to explain how I do centers in my first and second grade classroom using the Abeka curriculum. And this is a way that after much playing around and just testing out different ways of doing things, this is the way that I have found most beneficial to my classroom teaching style. I know that everyone has a different style and a way that will work for them and a way that won't work for them. I just wanted to share one way that I use this in my classroom for anyone that just wants a visual idea of how to make this potentially work in their classroom. So I have 4 rotations. This year currently I have 20 students, 9 first graders and 11 second graders. And then I also have a 5th grader that comes down for my phonics and reading and math time. And so what I do is I have myself as a station, and that is the reading station. And so they will come to me with their reading book, and I post the reading pages that they need to have and that we read together at my table. And this is where I will listen to them read, take oral reading grades, and whatever I need to do at my station. I try to also, if time allows, to do some kind of like a blending drill or sight word review or something like that. And then I have a technology station. I have some iPads in my classroom and Chromebooks in my room as well. And so the students, if they're at that rotation, they will get on there and play some different learning apps that I have assigned them to do. Then I have the SeatWork station. This year currently I have my 14-year-old daughter who is homeschooling in high school, and she is coming in for this 45-minute to an hour center rotation. And she comes and sits in there and helps with SeatWork questions that they have and grading things as they go along. I know that is very different, and most people don't have that. I had already planned on not having anyone at this station, and it would still generally work the same, where the students would kind of work together on their seat work. It just wouldn't have someone that has the answer keys at it, so it could still work without an actual adult or supervisor in that position. And then the last rotation I have is where I take the group and I split them into either 2 to 3 per group. I have a sensory bin, which is just a large container that I put various sensory items. Currently for fall, I have some different dried beans, some sunflowers, some little mushrooms, just things like that that I have found at the Dollar Tree. And the students love doing that. I like to put measuring cups in there where they can be able to really start visualizing how much different units of measurement are in that. Sometimes I make them academic, where I'll have like sorting coins or things like that, and other times I just let them play and explore different variety of items. And then on my carpet is where they will play some kind of a learning game, and that would be like a taking their spelling words and maybe using Scrabble tiles to spell their spelling words, or it might be a math game that they play with a partner. It just really depends on what kind of activity I want them doing on the carpet, but they will do that with a partner. And I have these 2 centers on opposite sides of the room. So my sensory bin is on one side and the carpet's on the other side, and this kind of cuts down on some of the noise level because the sensory bin can get kind of loud. So as they go through, we spend about 10 minutes or so per station. I used to use a timer, and that just did not work for me because some rotations I would go longer, some I would go shorter. So I just decided to take the timer off of the slides, and I would just manually advance them as I needed to. And so this is how I do it, and we just rotate 4 stations a day. Back to the activity station, they do so for the sensory bin, they only get that every other day, and the same thing with the carpet activity every other day. So it's kind of nice because I'm really only creating carpet activities 2 to 3 times a week, since that's how many times they go there. Other times too, for my carpet bin, I have a container that I put the different games or activities in, and a lot of times I put 2 to 3 activities, so that way if they do finish something early, they'll have a second activity to go to, or when they come back on the third day, they would have the other activity that they never finished. And something else that I also started doing to kind of make sure that they were actually doing the activities and not just playing is I have a small iPad, an older iPad that doesn't really do a whole lot in the game department, but the camera mode still works. And I have them take a picture before they rotate and clean up their items. They take a picture of the activity. So that way I can make sure that they're actually doing it, since a lot of the activities are either games or on dry erase pockets. And there's no way for me to really know whether they are actually doing it or not. And the students really, of course, like taking pictures, but they also are having that accountability piece. Instead of them just kind of playing and rolling around on the carpet, they know that I'm going to be checking that camera to make sure that they were actually participating. Something else that I do to try to help with the noise level during centers is I choose the quietest group after each rotation, and they get to go run a quick lap in the gym. And they think that that's a really good prize to be able to go do. So that helps a lot of times. Now, there are some times that I have no winners because I feel like every group either had some confrontation, or they were just up and they were talking too much or asking too many questions. And so I do not allow a group to go run a lap every single time. It just really depends on if I had a group that was very quiet and able to work independently. So I started these rotations on day 4. Tomorrow will be day 30 in my classroom, and they run very, very smoothly. I use the doorbell to let them know it's time to clean up, and then I advance the slide, and they know even if I have a sub in the classroom or if I have to step out to talk to another teacher, they can very much independently run these centers and know exactly the rotation that they need to go to next, and it has just worked out really, really well in my classroom. I'd be glad to share these slides if anybody wants a copy to just be able to take and tweak and make it work for your classroom. But once again, I just wanted to share with you what is working in my room, and feel free to adjust or use as needed. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.